I've just been getting a flurry of text messages. Laura and I went out with our friends at the weekend to watch Joanne McNally in Manchester. Nice. It was very good. We had a meal out first and then we went to there.
And we don't do it a lot, so it was like in the budget. It was,
yeah,
we don't get together and...
It was nice. It was a proper girly day out. And the first message is, next time we need a kitty. Financielle will make a podcast out of this next week. So they already know what's going to go down. This is a message we got off our, I would say, type A personality friend. Very successful CFO, very intelligent, very organised. So, I've totted up what everyone has spent and sorted it into categories, in brackets, because not all 8 of us participated in all 8 categories, and then divided each category by the number of participants equally. For instance, divided Oast House, which is a bar in Manchester, by 6, as there was only 6 of us. Then I've deducted what people had spent on the night to arrive at the amounts we each owe. And then she's gone on to say, if someone transfer this and da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. If you don't follow the above table, here is what you owe each. And then by name, how much everybody owes.
There's a table. It was a spreadsheet.
I've
formulas.
I've got a spreadsheet. I've got a table. Things are highlighted in yellow because some payments have been made. And then it's like, this is your remaining payment, blah, blah, blah. Financielle sisters, please don't despair of us. Any questions on missing expenditure, of course, shout up. I've rushed this, so it could be wrong. It definitely won't be wrong, Suzanne. You know it's not wrong. But this is the friend that she always sorts out the bill for everybody. She's a CFO, so she's an expert in this field. But one day, Laura and I went out for dinner with her, and I was like, Suzanne, I'll sort the bill today. You have a rest. You have a break. We always rely on you to be the organised person. And you could see she was like, okay, but really wanted to take control. And I was like, no. I'm doing you a favour. Like, I'll sort it. All got up to leave the restaurant. The man comes running after us. He's like, you still owe us £40.
So his mental math did not math that day.
It didn't work. I think I even used a calculator and I tried my best, but she was like, when I said to her, I'm really sorry, she was like, yeah, I did actually really want to do it. I actually enjoy it. So next time, just leave it to me.
She also, you've missed out the phrase that she said, and next time I'm not drinking, because look at Holly's bill compared to everyone else's. It's
I
so
wasn't drinking in
expensive,
my bill. I was a bit smug with mine. I felt like I was savvy. I don't do it for money reasons, though. It's not even
it's just like bonus reality
yeah.
of the difference. Yeah. It's funny that they're sending money here, there and everywhere. And I know that there's always been loads of products that have come out to try and be like split bills and this and that. It doesn't work because it doesn't think about the different people going at different times, different people already paying for different things. You need a Suzanne.
Yeah.
Everyone needs a Suzanne in their life.
Did you hear that? We love you.
Welcome to The Vault with Financielle. This is a safe space where we talk all things life and money and no topics are off limits. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy pod day.
Happy pod day.
Reflecting on what we're wearing, and when you don't watch on YouTube, you can't see, but Lucy and I have both got our merch on today.
Mine's got wrinkles.
I haven't, but Holly put a jumper on backwards, so I'm going to tell everyone before. I didn't realise.
No, I'd have rocked it, to be honest.
I did see Grace Beverley's Tala has got this reversible top that's high neck at the front and V on the back, and then V on the front, high neck at the back.
That's nice.
Yeah, I like that.
Sure, would you have a V on the back?
Yeah.
It's not too low. It looked handy anyway.
Yeah. Nice.
I'd probably get makeup on it as I was turning it around like in class. You know, when you.
Yeah.
Do you know what? My friend, who is now a Minister of Parliament, so gives you a context of how important he is. He once said when he was at school, he spent a full day with a hanger in his jumper. At the end of the day, did the teacher go, I didn't say his name, so I'm not going to probably be in the press if I said it and be like, this man is responsible for thousands of people. But yeah.
Great posture.
Yeah, I didn't even notice.
Imagine if he was like, come here.
As if he never realised. Tell me you relaxed. Never realised. Having a great time.
I notice if there's like a grain of sand in my sock. Like, I am that person.
But you didn't notice that your jumper was on back to front until Lydia looked at you and went,
That's very true. Maybe I'm more...
That's so funny. I'm envisioning, do you know, Matilda or Miss Trunchbull picks up my things.
It would have been handy, wouldn't it?
Hang on a minute.
I do a lot of gym leggings inside out.
Oh, Laura always does that.
And I'm like, but never realise until it's just halfway through.
In uni, we used to be like addicted to gym classes and it would be like squats and everything and we'd always be late, so we'd end up like at the front. And I just had this obsessive fear that I was going to do a squat and my leggings would just go rip.
That's happened to someone at our gym. Who was it? Someone told us this.
Claire. I'm going to call her out.
And I'd
Big hole
always
in the
be like,
bum.
oh my God, I can definitely tell, like, they've
Those scrunch
like,
ones.
no one's told me.
Those scrunch leggings.
Oh yeah.
They
Go
really...
right up.
Do you have those?
Yeah, they're so
I was
comfy.
going to call them out. When you walk down the street and it's just like...
Yeah,
All
I
bum.
can't wear them.
I just can't stop with Holly's hands doing this. Like,
But it's scrunchies.
I'm making a gif out of that.
They're there for a reason. It's to make your bum look big and juicy. That's
Yeah.
exactly what they do, to be fair. But I can foresee cheap Amazon ones at the beginning, at the front of the
Yeah.
class doing a squat, just pew, pew.
It's probably what was
Fear
happening.
unlocked.
And you feel a
Yeah.
lot.
Now I don't go to gym class, so
I go
Not
in
worried.
jeans.
okay, I've got a controversial opinion and I feel like I need to take shelter when I say it.
Okay.
Budgeting apps don't work.
how very dare they?
Sorry, what?
How very dare you?
Did you come up with this controversial money opinion?
State your case.
Yeah.
What are we thinking?
Oh, it depends on the budgeting app, I would say. Because we've got this big thing of everyone's like, why is Financielle different? Like, why does it work? And one of the big things that comes out when we speak to people, they've tried budgeting apps before, they've tried spreadsheets before, they've tried paper budget planners, they've tried pieces of paper, they've tried notes on the phone. It just doesn't work. It's really, some spreadsheets do, sorry, if you're like uber geeky and want to track every single thing on your spreadsheet, but they can get complicated, formulas break, you can't update it on the go, which is one of the big things when we speak to people, why they like Financielle. But some of the other budgeting apps, they do all the hard work for you, so you never truly get down and dirty with your numbers. You never truly have a full understanding of what's coming in and what's going out, because some really savvy, clever, highly technical apps will round up spending for you, will take money out of your account without you knowing and put it into savings. That's great for the person that...
It's like breezing through life and is kind of comfortable, hasn't got a emergency in their face or something could set on fire or like a stress in their life.
Yeah, although super savvy when it
very
comes to
privileged,
money.
you know.
Yeah, but for the many of, I would say the majority of us in the UK, we should have some or a lot of engagement with our money, because that's how it goes awry. If you don't look at your bank account for days on end because you're scared of what it is, that turns into months, it turns into years. You never truly get to grips with your money. So I understand the controversial opinion. Many people have tried a budget app and it's not worked, but it's just not the one for them. And I think it's just a case of researching and finding out the reason why you want to download it in the first place, and then how you engage with it when it's in your pocket.
Lots of them as well. So lots of banking apps are very reflective but not forward looking. But I guess you said budgeting app, so you would think a budgeting app is budgeting it. But do you know what is sad about that? It's so lonely because it's just the budget and then it's like off I go. Whereas what I guess we're quite proud of is the community side of it, because we hope that people come to us and make a change. They improve self-development, personal development, like it's an investment in yourself. And we probably don't shout about that enough, that you come to us to change. Some people give us a hard time for the price. It's £40 for the year and that's £3.33 a month and £4.20 is a Starbucks coffee. But it's change and it's development. I think we saw recently, like someone that pays for premium, saves 3.5 times as much.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, and pays off debt 2.5 times more quicker than someone that doesn't. So everyone's so happy to give like payments to Klarna and payments to the credit card companies and payments to car finance, and no one's looking at like the cost of that, and the profit that those companies are making. But sometimes people give us a little bit of a hard time for it not being free, but you're paying for development, but you're paying, part of that development is not just the budget, it's the people. And if you want a pick-me-up, or if you want to feel like you're not on your own, you can just go into that community and see what people are saying. And when someone this morning said, I've been in debt my entire adult life. And I think that's normal.
I think that's normal.
So what are the other budgeting apps doing to help not be the normal? What are the budgeting apps doing helping someone save up in advance for having a baby? What are the other apps doing that want to help someone get through Christmas without relying on credit? What are the other apps doing to help
that
close
person with someone else in a similar position?
Yeah,
They're
just
not
that empathy. And so it's that, but it's also, and I'm going to obviously give you three guys credit to the content that's in there. Those blogs I love it when people say, oh my God, it was a nugget. It was like this just little bit of insight that I went, I'm not on my own. Or, oh, that person's paying off the mortgage. That's amazing. Or, oh, do you know what? I've never thought about how toxic, buy
now, pay later.
I was like, yeah.
Always.
Always. But they've just, like, that's the combo that works. So some budgeting apps don't work if you're not super into it. Because if you're not super into it, you need the other things to kind of keep you going. And then you also don't get a nice pretty donut like we do. You get a nice donut of you. That's a good little thing for people to look at, by the way. When you do a budget in our app, you get the donut of dreams, which is breaking up how your income is spent. And there's 4 nice colours. And so you've got to look between your fixed expenses, your flexible expenses, your sinking funds, and the excess. And the excess is green. And if you spend more than you make, you don't get any green. And it's just a three colour donut. But my favourite 2 are the green and the purple, because purple's sinking funds. So sinking funds is like, oh, look how organised I am. And the green is, that's my growth. That money's being thrown at debt. That money's being invested. And that's the element of, I don't care how much I spend on groceries. Really, like, as long as I manage it, that's not the win. Whereas other apps go, oh, you spent this much in Greggs and you spent this much in Tesco. And
mentioned the forward, the retrospective spending thing. Our app is the only one that I know of whereby you go, in the UK, this is what I'm going to spend this month. Like, you are truly taking control of your finances when you decide where your money's going to go at the beginning of the month, not just get a fancy report at the end when it tells you how much you fucked up.
Yeah.
I went to Greggs too many times. Like, that's not helpful. Like, I knew that we always go, I ate the donut, I ate the sausage roll, like, whatever. You don't need to tell me that in a pretty graph. Like, it's great and it's fun and it's engaging, but is it truly going to change your life? No.
It's like being hungover and someone being like, well, you had this many drinks.
Yeah.
You're like,
I told you so.
I know.
But that's not helping, Karen. I feel rubbish
Too
right
late
now.
now, isn't it?
That's when you do need the sausage roll and the donuts. Yeah.
It's funny when someone messages, like, and if they've not got really good coverage and the app's not loading, they go,
oh, it's broken.
Tell me about how it works. Yeah, tell me about, and sometimes I go, oh, we've known the months where we said we were going to do this one month, we weren't going to use it.
I can't do it. I'm not doing it. I won't
not
do it
have
to
a budget
myself.
and just have everything
Just
in your
wing it.
Just get
current
paid
account.
and wait. Look at you all holding your breath.
The mental maths that
Going
you would
cold
need.
turkey.
Could not.
Just couldn't do
I
it.
love how you take on all different challenges. Like, you'll do no spend challenges, and you'll try and cut back on this, and you'll not use this, and but
Take my budget away.
do not take my
New
budget
challenge. Be shit with money.
away. Great content. I think we'd be rubbish at it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Good fail. Okay, I've got a dilemma for everybody. I can't balance my budget with my social life. Hi girls. I'm writing in today as I have a bit of a dilemma. I've been a silent listener of the podcast for a while, and after an expensive summer, I'm finally taking the plunge to making a budget and paying off my debt, which is about 3.5k. I have made a budget for the month following the Financielle playbook and have budgeted for all of my social plans within the month. The problem is I have barely any excess left to build up my emergency and start paying down the debt. I feel like I need to cut back on my social life for the first couple of months whilst I get the ball rolling, but I struggle to say no to plans with friends, especially as most of my friends now live in different cities, so aligning schedules is tricky. How do I cut back on my social life without feeling like I'm letting my friends down so that I can have a bit more flexibility in my budget and start my financial wellness journey?
Really good dilemma, that one,
The
actually.
FOMO's real.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just picturing Lucy's response, which is, it's fine, just say no. Next.
Sorted.
Because we're all
Lucy's
different
like,
social creatures.
Is this a dilemma or is this a dream? 3.5k worth of debt. If you double down and really commit yourself, you will not be saying no to this social life for a very long time.
that long.
Like, this is a period in your life. It gets really addictive and really fun. So you need to delve into the community is my first bit of advice. There are so many people that have got this last bit of remaining debt that just go all in. And it's so addictive and the dopamine hit's amazing. You can stay in touch with friends. You're not letting people down. Half of me is like, do you know, everyone always thinks like, oh, I'm letting my friends down because I'm not going to go. Like, I know you're the main character of your life, but you're not in theirs. Like,
They don't care.
I don't think
That's
when
so
you
true.
say no that I love you and all your friends probably love you as well, but they're not sat there going, oh, I wish Lucy was here. Like, you are the main character of your own life. Like, it's very dramatic.
We've said this before, though. They might be like, "Thank God, why? I like you all, but why do I see you all the time?"
Yeah.
I think it's a transition of. It definitely happened to me on an age basis that in my early 20s and my two best friends were one's in London, one's in Manchester, and we just made such an effort to see each other constantly. And I loved that. And now it's too much the other way, whether it's kids involved or like moving and stuff and work. And it is really, really hard to catch up. But I also think we've given each other a little bit of a break, like not a break, but it's like okay.
Permission.
Permission.
The friendship doesn't
because
change.
if you are paying for trains, paying for hotels, if you catch up in different places, dinners out, because when you get together, you're like your social animals, you go out. It's really expensive. And if you're suddenly taking care of your money, it's just a lot. I think it's hard because with like WhatsApp and social media and stuff, these people 20 years ago, our best friends, we probably would have rung 2-3 times a year if we didn't live close. And that wouldn't have been a bad thing. But because we're all connected and you've got a routine of it, I think it's time to maybe change up the routine and think about some quality milestones that you do together if there's a lot of travel involved. But
and you can
it's
plan
okay
those
to say
in
no.
rather those like impulsive, like, oh, just pop down to see you this weekend. Or you can be like, no, in 2 months' time, we're going to go here. And you can have a little sinking fund for that. No one's saying that you have to say no to everything, but just being mindful that it's not a big deal anymore. I think we're all weirdos. We always say this.
Conditioned a particular
way.
way.
We're all conditioned to be able to prioritise our financial wellness and say no to things with a bigger goal in mind. That's just what this is. And
we have to put ourselves back into a previous position. We've done this with money scripts before. So for those people that haven't heard us talk about this, it's, and we need someone in the app to keep them. I think we've got it's like spread it around, but different ways to practice saying no to certain things. So, I think one option for you is sharing with your friends, look, I finally want to get my shit together and I'm going to go on a debt-free journey. And so I'm going to be tempted at times to want to join in, but I'm going to say no to some things. Firstly, once in a while, we do something that isn't as expensive. I'll host, come to me, I'll cook you something.
Girly sleepover.
Spa pajamas, no
below
makeup.
Deck.
Like, dream.
No
we're
heels,
not going out. We don't need to
no
go out.
Ubers.
Popcorn, pajamas.
You'll probably carry it on as well when you get free.
Yeah. You'll realise that you don't want to go out in heels and have to do the
spreadsheet
personality, paying each other back. This is going to be a new era, a new dawn for you all. You might just inspire some of your friends to do this.
Your friends are probably in a similar situation. Like someone will be.
Yeah.
Someone will be like, oh, thank God you said something.
Yeah. Accountability buddy.
Yeah. Well, me and my boyfriend, we've like coined a new meaning for this term. He's probably got this term from like a crypto bro content creator that convinces everyone they like make money from something else, but they actually get paid from being a content creator. And it's called monk mode.
Oh, go. What is it?
Bald.
Brown? I think brown
Shave your hair.
It's autumn. I'm going to go brown. I'm going to go bald.
And it's basically where you just like cut out all distractions and you go like all in on this like one thing. Whether it's like productivity or just any area of life. I don't think that's the actual what it means. Like Google it.
I get it,
It'll
though.
be some like some
Actual
weird
monk
crypto,
mode.
like no social media and stuff.
Yeah.
But if it like that could be like, right, I'm going monk mode on my reading.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm doing no social media in the evenings. Like
You're just focusing on a goal.
yeah. Basically, that's what it is.
Yeah,
just
but make
doubling
it
down.
trendy.
Okay, monk mode. Oh, perfect.
Go on, what does it mean?
Simplifying your life and daily routine, eliminating distractions and focusing deeply on tasks and self-improvement. Perfect.
Right.
I've seen people do, I've seen those ads that's like, girl, disappear for 6 months. I'm like, where am I going? What do you mean disappear? I've got kids to drop off at school. Like,
Yeah, that's the sort of thing. And it's like, right, don't just like ghost everyone. Don't do that.
I love that.
Tell everyone, be like, right, give me a year, literally, like, I will be back.
Oh my God. Like going into a cocoon.
yeah.
This is the main character thing coming back.
It
It's
really
like
is.
everyone
I'm
else is like,
sorry.
okay, bye.
Everyone couldn't give a shit and didn't realise that you were missing. They didn't realise you were, I'm going. Who are you? Get out the group chat. Who is this?
Who are you?
Lucy.
How
Lucy.
dramatic.
I think I knew her in uni.
Lucy's left the chat.
Lucy's never in the chat.
Oh, I thought you moved away.
As long as there's no pressure for a glow up, because that would terrify me as well.
And it's like, oh my God, if I said I'm coming away for 6 months, months.
Yeah,
I
you
couldn't
have.
come back after 6 months because nothing would have changed.
What did you improve?
Just
My
rotted
bank
for 6
balance.
months.
I'd look rougher. I don't know if that's possible, but I would.
You have to have like a coming back party.
Chrysalis. Is that what they say?
Like after when like a singer does a big tour,
Oh, yeah.
and like at the end, Harry Styles was like, "I'm gonna go away for a while," but everyone sees him like
went to
walking down
Gales.
the London,
That's where he went.
walking around Notting Hill every day.
Yeah, forgets that social media exists, and literally.
But to that point,
So,
poor
yeah.
Harry is been Mr. Social. He goes to the local pub
Yeah.
for a couple of drinks.
Yeah.
He's
Looking
watching his
Harry.
money. He's being mindful.
He's in his
being
monk era.
demure.
I see you in your monk era.
Monk mode.
Oh, monk mode, sorry.
He did actually shave his head as well, so maybe he was.
I feel like
I'm not shaving
to
mine.
our listener that wrote this dilemma, does this help? Because we're having a great time.
I think the prescription is monk mode.
Yes.
We're in agreement.
But no pressure monk mode, like.
No, just
Like-
do
Yeah,
your
no,
own thing.
non-dramatic.
But focus on, like Holly said, ditch $3,500. You can nail this, and you can plan a couple of things in that are light socials. But I think you need to get. You've had a summer of excess. Lots of us have. Sometimes just breaking that cycle makes you realize, oh, that doesn't have to be the way. Keep in contact with friends in different ways. Like keep the WhatsApp group going. Get on some group calls. I don't know if you've seen on WhatsApp. You can give these really good video memos now.
Oh my
And I
God.
just had to do that with some of my friends, which is it's really like one of us lives in Australia. It's really hard to get on
Instead of a
chat.
voice note.
Instead of
It's
a
so
voice
good.
note, and it can't be long because it goes around the
maximum
circle and it
1 minute.
stops, and so you can't leave a 12-minute podcast voice note.
I just need to address the length of the voice note that Lucy received from her friend the other day.
yeah, one was 17 minutes. In total, 30 minutes. She
Get
said
it on the pod. The
she
pod
said-
extra.
She said, put this all into ChatGPT and get it to summarise it for you. And I did.
And
Great summary. She's having a wild time.
We're obviously not allowed.
she's not sharing.
It's on after. It's
Off
on the
camera.
vault after hours.
Yeah. we need to get her on the sofa, actually.
I feel like looking at different ways that this isn't like bye friends, see you in a year.
Yeah.
But
And
it's
also we're about
change.
to have a really social period. Christmas time
Yeah.
is coming up.
Yeah.
After that, I think January, that's
It's calling out for it.
It's calling for hibernation.
It is.
You would hibernate all year
I was
round.
about to
This
say,
is
absolutely.
like-
July's hibernation month for you, Lucy.
Yeah. I was saying to Lydia before, I get the opposite of sad.
Yeah.
Like it's sunny, I'm like,
Vampire.
Bye guys.
yeah, I think monk mode is the answer.
Okay.
Good luck.
I like it.
Document your monk mode in the community, please.
Yeah, don't go away too much because we need to know what you're doing.
I'll
Yeah,
support
we're here
you.
as well. If you need friends,
I'll be supportive.
we're going nowhere.
I'm not coming out with you though.
Okay, community win time. Sinking funds for the win. My car went in for its service yesterday and I got the dreaded call. It needs a new tyre. Not a problem thanks to my car sinking fund, which has never felt so aptly named before. Cars really are a money pit. And a quick payment later, it was all sorted and I got on with my day.
Yeah, honestly, we say it time and time again. If you do not engage with sinking funds, what are you doing? Like they save lives.
The journey though, like when you first do them, it's proper adulting and it makes you feel a bit sick. You're like,
it's a bit painful.
well,
Like, why?
I have to sit, put my money that was for here and it goes over there.
And you're like, why am I putting money away for a car? But
then
car
the first
tax,
That's already bought.
car insurance, like it's not sexy, is
Well,
it?
and the first time you get to use it, you go, thank God I don't have to use my savings. I mean, in the summer, we went to France, and whilst we were in France, my husband noticed that the tread on his car tyre had gone incredibly low. And I mean, really low. And we'd only just got MOTs, and they'd given like not a warning on it, just to kind of keep an eye on them. And our service is due back end of the year. And so it was going to be, we'll probably have to replace the tyres then. But he looked and it was really, really low. And so we're in France. None of us speak French. Thankfully, a lot of the French speak English and help us out. And we found a really good tyre place, of which he waxed lyrical about how amazing this tyre place was. It was
Going back next year to
He
get
just-
his tyres
he said
changed
he was
there.
like,
he said
I
it
will.
was cheaper. He said he might replace them every year because we
It
go to
was
the same
really
place.
efficient. Everyone, you just turn up and it's like you just turn
Like a
up.
car wash, but
Yeah.
you get your tyres changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was cheaper.
He
It was
was
more
buzzing.
efficient. He was
I got
very
video and
excited.
everything.
And
This is adulting.
He's like, I'm having a great morning.
he's in monk mode. He's getting his tyres started.
Tyre monk mode.
But imagine that. So we're in the summer. Everything's expensive already. You're going out for meals. You are going to Disney. Like there's lots of money going out. Luckily, out of pots. But the last thing you really want is to be hit with, when you're in France, to be able to get home safely, a tyre bill. Doesn't matter. There's a fund
It
for
would
it.
feel quite dramatic if you didn't have a sinking fund. It'd be like,
Oh,
we've got to
right.
pay.
That
for
would be
the
like the
tyre.
disaster of the holiday.
Yeah.
But imagine if you didn't have that money, you had to get home safely.
Yeah.
Someone could have made a decision about,
We'll risk it.
Like, that's so dangerous to do. It wasn't an issue, and it's not because there's a wad of cash that we just dip into. There is a car service sinking fund that just takes peace of mind away. But if anyone wants to get their tyres replaced, drive to the north of France, because it was a great service. But that peace of mind is the reason you're doing it. Once you don't have to dip into your precious savings that we all love, like staying there and not touching.
And you feel like a failure when you dip into those. That's the biggest
send you backwards.
upset that when we do community interviews with people, they're like, and all I do is dip back into that. I start at the beginning of the month and I go, I'm going to whack loads into my savings, feel really smug. And then by like day 7, I'm like, just going to pull a little bit out.
Yeah, it's because they were artificially high. And this is the point about these things are going to come up. So just put them in the budget, big girl pants. And then when you use it, you just feel like you've really done, you're proud of yourself.
Have you got like a niche sinking fund? Like what's your most interesting sinking fund?
Nothing really. The other one that I look back to was the Dyson Airwrap one.
Oh yeah.
That was fun.
And then you returned it.
Free
That
money.
was nearly a year ago.
Did you see someone in the community talk about a January sinking fund?
Yes.
I love this idea.
Because it can be such a depressive
I might
month.
do that.
I honestly
couple of
thought it
months.
was ingenious.
Yeah.
So she was like,
Christmas.
So was it because January is a long month or because it's a depressing month?
both.
Depressing, I think.
I think it was a bit of both. I think she
Yeah.
acknowledged that it was a difficult month mentally for everybody.
And a difficult month money-wise, because
Yeah.
sometimes
It
if you've
can be
been
a
paid
5
early,
week,
which
yeah.
is the devil,
In
being
December.
paid early in December is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Unless you start there going, oh, I might make extra interest. Most of us are going, oh, that's a nice bit of cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can get some presents from the
On
garage. in the
Christmas
corner.
Eve.
Yeah. People want to get paid. I remember in our old job, people like just, I'm going to get paid before Christmas.
What
like
day
the
will we get
panic.
paid? What day will we get paid? Yeah.
So it's early. So
Yeah.
you forget. You don't want to. It gets paid. It's a really long month.
It can be a 6 to 7 week pay month then, depending on when
And
you get
everyone's a
paid.
bit visual, but actually, loads of restaurants and stuff do 50% off in January. So build a really cool sinking fund now and
Oh,
go
my
out
old
every
Lucy,
weekend.
you need a January food fund.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Go out every
Okay, I'm gonna do
weekend
it.
for half the price, and you've
Yeah.
already saved up for it. Like we should all have a January sinking fund.
Happy
Definitely.
January sinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
We're not going to
I think that's a
be
good idea.
that kind of content. We're going to build it now, that content, and let
Yeah.
people have a plan for a really nice January.
On a note, can you guys please pay us on Christmas Day
I know,
instead of
it's
before?
It would be Christmas Day,
I think it
wouldn't
was
it?
early last year and I was like, I'm not touching it.
Oh,
Did we do it
Oh,
earlier? Are we
I
those
like a-
people?
It was like
know.
a day or two
Probably.
earlier and I
Probably
was like,
because-
I'm not touching it.
Well, it's kind of a bank holiday, isn't it? So you do have
Yeah.
to go a bit earlier. But no.
don't look at it. Delayed
do you
gratification.
It's free anyway. I go
I was about to
home.
say,
pay you
I was
until,
just about to say, Jen's like, and what do you pay for on Christmas Day, Lucy? She sat tucking into a Sunday roast and I don't know, what do you have?
Everything.
I know,
Everything and everything.
all the presents you get.
If you'd like to send us your win, please head to the community in the app or email it to thevault@financielle.com. Okay, next dilemma. I'm obsessed with the idea of being debt-free. Hello. I only joined Financielle about 1 week ago, and I've been obsessed with the idea of being debt-free. I worked out I would be debt-free by 2026 using the snowball method. Our plan before my financial enlightenment was to sell both of our cars and to buy a new car. So we would cut down our costs on MOTs, insurance, etc. by only having one car. We would need a bit of a car loan to support getting a new car. Now I've learned more about financing, I'm wondering why I would keep myself in this debt loop. Today, my fiancé and I have sold one of our cars for a sum of money which will cover most of our debt and leave us with only £1,700 worth of debt. If we keep my car, we can use the money we were spending on our monthly debt repayments to pay the £1,700 off, and we will be debt-free by January 2025, a whole year earlier. I'm excited by the idea of starting a new year debt-free, but also feel strange about using it all to pay off the debt. To note, we don't have a sinking fund set up yet. I'm so scared of using all the money on the debt and feel we should hold some back as a sinking fund, but I'm worried I will just take it out and spend it. I know I need to change my psychology around this, but I'm scared of having nothing left from the sale. I didn't grow up with money and I tend to be a spender when I have it. Some support on this would be super helpful.
1 week in. Welcome. You are already
In it, on it. Wow.
all over it. And I think I can empathise with the obsession with being debt free. That's a good thing. Like,
So
be
good.
obsessed, care
Healthy.
about it. Healthy
Obsession.
You know, it needs to be like, because we can rein you back in, but if you don't feel motivated to be debt free,
Never going to be.
you're never going to be, and none of these other things will come together. So it's a healthy obsession. Also, sounds like you and your partner are on the same page for planning for this. And if you said you're a spender, if he's not, combining at least the budgeting together and working together. And like knowing that you're that spender, that's the first part of the battle.
I'm so impressed with the self-reflection already that she's like, I recognise I'm a spender, and if
Yeah.
I have access to that money, I'll probably spend it. So I know I need to do this. Like so good at the self-reflection and
good that you've
recognising.
caught yourself literally just before you're about to buy a car on finance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you know they've thought, oh, let's sell 2 cars and then we'll finance one, and obviously car finance. The long story short with car finance is you are much more likely to finance a much more expensive car than you'd be willing to buy. So car finance isn't like bad, and especially if you've kind of fairly financially comfortable. If you're someone that likes to change cars regularly, you like that convenience. You do you. It's like, but it's definitely a want. It's not a need. For the vast majority of us, the problem with car finance is we literally go and get a car that we can't afford. Yeah. We never look at the list price. I always challenge people, if you have a car on finance, do you know how much it was?
Yeah. We always say it. Would you pay
die.
£40,000 for a car? You'd be like, would I hell? But it's so easy to do on finance. They market it so well.
They do.
So
I mean,
well.
God, I remember that big change actually when it switched to monthly payments, and that's what you think you can afford. You don't look at the margin they're making. You don't look if you're over. You'll never get it at a discount. Like it'll always be at the full whack market value. They build their margin into the finance price, and so they actually want you to get finance more than they want you to get pay with cash or a car loan at the moment, because they make much more money on the finance. And so the danger of going and getting a finance car, even though you can keep payments short, is one, you don't own the car. And 2, you've probably well overpaid. It's not as trendy to finance a nice little run around, isn't it? So I think that's a fab idea for them, and to just kind of keep things simple. It sounds like they can run off one car. Amazing. You can reduce your expenses, and you guys did this for a little while actually. I know you got 2 now, but it's absolutely doable if depending on your circumstances, in your village location, if you can share off family, like we're close, you could borrow ours, you could borrow our parents and stuff. So she's saying sinking fund. She's saying if she uses all the money from the sale to pay off the remainder of the debt, she's really scared to have nothing left, and that's the right scared to be. We get so giddy about paying off debt that actually we lose our mind a little bit, and we're like, oh my God, and if you have no emergency fund, and she calls it a sinking fund, but I think she means emergency fund. The emergency fund is the thing that like gives you peace of mind first of all, and then can help you in emergency, and it's 2 jobs. If you have an emergency, and sometimes if you're new to budgeting, she's intense. She's probably going to overdo it. She'll cut too much. She'll forget something, because none of us get a budget right. None of us.
No, especially your first one. You're like, I'm going to make a massive change, and you cut
You're going to have
sort
pot
of
noodles.
It's just like a fad diet, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is.
You go a bit crazy.
It's natural to do that. The emergency fund helps us out when we went, we're a bit ambitious, weren't we? Like we definitely thought that we could.
I wasn't going to eat this week.
Yeah, or that we'd forgot
and
about
it's lunchtime.
Fuel. Oh yeah, we just forget stuff, and so picking 1 month's expenses as a minimum to put to one side, this may kick your debt-free date to like the spring of 2025 or something, but that's okay. That's better than paying off all your debt and going, oh, I literally have no money. This is stressful. And one thing comes out, and what do you need? You need debt. You need credit. You need an overdraft. You need a Monzo Flex. You need buy now pay later. You need help because you don't have any money, and we want to be in control. So sinking funds is a good one to, when you're just starting your journey, they have to be lean sinking funds. And we always say this, like if you're going to go on holiday, start building a travel sinking fund. Yeah. If that's a bougie travel sinking fund, you actually, like, you're doing yourself a disservice, because you are extending the debt-free date. If you go out, we're going to go away, but this is all we're spending because being debt-free is more important this year. You can include a travel sinking fund, which is the monthly bit in your budget that you put into the pot, but it's still nice and lean. And then you should have your sinking funds for your essentials. So the things that you're going to be spending.
Your car tax, car insurance, home maintenance,
just in case something happens. Although I have said this before, actually, a home maintenance and a car maintenance, you can actually slow down on those if you've got an emergency emergency fund, because those can help in an emergency.
Yeah.
Later, you get to a point where you up those. But having your little sinking funds that are nice and lean, an emergency fund to one side, and then smashing that debt is definitely the best course of action.
Yeah, you've got this. How would you say, so say someone's completely new to sinking funds, ready to go, ready to put money in them, but they are a spender and they're just like, oh, I'll just dip into that. What would you say for like that mental sort of thing?
So location. You shouldn't have them in front of your eyes. So a lot of us that use kind of neobanks that have the pots functionality, that's a great way of parking money for specific jobs and having the pots named. And so in our app, you can kind of use a sinking fund budgeting bit to decide what you're going to put it away. And it's practice to know I don't dip into that. It's hard.
Some people in the community I've seen that are impulsive spenders, and it's generally when they're at the beginning of the journey, because by the time they've got to a certain point, they've retrained the brain and they don't have that urge to impulse spend because the money's in a good place and they budget for it. They have impulse spending pots. So it's like a pot of money that they put aside.
Permission to spend.
Yeah, if they know that person, like, don't lie to yourself. Like, this is not a diet, like you say. Like, this is real life, this is money. Things cost money. If you want to have a bit of fun, like, and you know that you're not great and you dip into savings and you're going to be that person, then just plan for it. Create a pot that says impulsive spend.
Yeah, and I have a problem pot.
And I bet you don't spend it. Because you're giving yourself permission, so it's not fun anymore.
Get the dopamine.
It's not fun anymore. You're not naughty, so it's not fun.
It's allowed.
Yeah. Oh, that's boring. Like and then at the end of the
true.
month when you've not spent it, you can whack that into paying off debt or keeping it in the fund for the next month and roll it over. But I honestly bet you don't spend it. But give yourself permission to and see what happens.
And the 2 extra tips are put friction in the process. So if POTS is too accessible for you, having your sinking funds in a completely separate bank account where you have to do a bank transfer to get it back in.
Make it painful.
And the other one is doing a budget jointly. So she talks about her partner. They don't have to physically combine banks, but if they are managing the budget together, sometimes knowing someone else would seeing us dip into something is enough to go, I shouldn't do it. Like, it's not them controlling you, it's you knowing.
If you've got a joint account, it's like my dad when he goes to Greg's, my mum's like, did you enjoy that, Greg's? He's like, I can't go anywhere without knowing what I'm doing.
And it's healthy accountability for someone who shouldn't be going to Greg's for whatever reason. But good luck.
We're about to get Greg's,
Hope
by the
you
way.
enjoyed that, Leon.
Just got that. You mean back again? She likes Leon.
Cake. Yeah, I know how much that is.
The worst thing is going to reveal to my mum that my dad actually doesn't mind Starbucks, but my mum hates it. And so sometimes he gets a coffee from Starbucks without her, obviously. And I wonder if she knows.
That's in his fuck off fund.
Oh, sorry,
Dad. He hasn't got one really.
He wouldn't know how to put one together, to be fair. He's bold. He'll tap away, but he doesn't want to do it out of Starling because it pings up. But
say he's bold.
Bold.
Oh, bold. I thought you said bald.
He's not in his
bold.
mum.
He doesn't know.
Bored or bald?
Bald.
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 He's not bald.
He's got a full head of hair.
Look at Laura's hair. He's got the thickest head of hair going.
It's because you've got a better accent than me. I couldn't tell.
Is he bald or bold?
From Wigan, we say bold.
Like confident.
Bold. Like,
he's confident. He's also bald.
So we can put
He's got bold energy.
Nothing wrong with bald either, guys.
Give him.
He just happens not to be.
No, it's not.
He's in his monk
era. Monk era.
mode.
He's definitely not in
He's in
monk mode.
Starbucks in his monk era.
Any last words? Don't think we've got any loose here. I think we'll leave.
Sorry, Dad.
We'll leave it there.
On that note, that is all for this episode. The Vault is now closed. Just a quick disclaimer, The Vault is just a chat around life and money topics and we are not giving financial advice.